All right, Roland giving this hand a think. It looks like one card is going to be placed on the bottom any moment now. There it is, one card placed on the bottom. Roland has successfully mulliganed to 6, and we're underway.
I'll exile Palace Chandler.
Small B at 19.
18.
All right, going to 18 after imprinting a Palace Jailer on Chromox, and here's White Plume Adventurer. And it looks like no response. Michael will take the initiative and search for a basic.
One for me, and I have the initiative.
I'm going to go to the fourth.
The secret entrance. Trigger, go get a basic. Good.
Yeah, official tokens confirmed. Good work, Michael. Exactly. Exactly what everyone watching was thinking. All right, so at this point in the game, it's unlikely, this is round 1, that Michael knows that Roland is also playing initiative. Let's see if Roland can snatch the initiative right away.
I know there was a lot of things going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just I haven't played in paper in a little while.
There's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
So you got the initiative. All right.
Yep.
I already drew my card.
Yep.
What's better?
Sounds good.
All right, players appear to be having fun. Here's a Plains.
And I'm going to pass on to you.
Founder badge, MTG banning is here, jamming spinning bagels.
Try and put some counters on
All right, upkeep initiative trigger, venturing into the Undercity and stacking 2+1 counters on top of that White Plume, so it'll attack for 5 this turn potentially. Playing a basic Plains, swinging for 5. Let's see if Roland has a response.
So I'm taking 5.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Go ahead.
What camera did I use? The GoPro 11.
I need to stack this correctly.
Sure.
I'm going to Solitude.
Can I do my description?
The end of my turn?
Yeah, no, before the end of your turn.
Okay, before the end of my
So
turn.
it's a cephalid that
Solitude.
if you target it with something,
Cephalid illusion.
I will name
And
that.
then with the trigger on the stack,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Sorry about that. I just.
Sorry.
Okay.
Touch it.
Okay, so you're gonna channel touch.
Correct.
I'll respond to that ability with Swords to Plowshares on Solitude. So you'll.
Okay, so in case anybody wasn't following, we evoked Solitude, pitching Thalia with the Solitude on the battlefield before it becomes sacrificed. Touch the Spirit Realm was channeled, targeting Solitude to try to save it, and Michael responded with a Swords to Plowshares on Solitude.
I'll go to my end step. Go ahead.
I'll name the Wizard Cycling card. Go ahead.
So 17.
Okay, a Thalia comes in for Roland. Michael with no creatures on the board currently, but moving on to the next room of the Undercity, and you lose 5 life. Roland goes down to 13.
I will play.
Caster. Trigger. 15. Drop.
Players are understandably not minding the phone with life totals on the table. It's all good. Here's White Plume Adventurer.
Trigger. I'll go to the Catacombs and make it 4/1.
I don't know if you can do that.
Oh no, you're right. That's an illegal game. Do you want to call a judge?
That's fine. Let's keep going.
Draw. In a minute.
Yep. Yep.
I will pass the turn after that.
Okay, so for a moment there, accidentally choosing a room that was not available, but drawing a card from the archives. The next room on the Undercity for Michael is the ultimate. Let's see if Roland can steal the initiative this turn.
Keep on 2.
Caracas can protect his Thalia.
See this one button on camera, that Force of Will part? That's your hand.
Yes, yeah.
Looks like Roland only has one card in hand, though.
Head up, keep
All right,
on
Roland's passing the turn. Michael's going to get the ultimate of the Undercity here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, so Seasoned Dungeoneer and Caves of Chaos Adventurer are really the only options here. And Michael's going to choose the Caves of Chaos, giving it 3+1/+1 counters and hexproof until Michael's next turn, and Michael will get to search for a basic as Caves of Chaos Adventurer takes the initiative.
Covered Plains. Shuffle.
Snow-covered plains chosen. This is all before the draw step.
Draw.
14.
Again, Roland is at 13.
Go to combat. 3.
I'll dredge 5.
Taking it.
10.
All right, Roland now down to 10. Life totals on the table are now correct.
Archon of Emeria.
And here's Archon of Emeria, which is pretty good in the mirror because the non-basics like Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, whatnot, enter tapped. On Roland's upkeep, White Plume will untap itself, it looks like.
It's a little untapped. Yep.
90s MTG on a Friday. What is going on here? Yes. We did it.
Go ahead.
Upkeep, trigger, keep on 2.
Game 2.
All right, we're moving on to game 2. Michael takes game 1.
The mold decision correctly, but that was
It was a heater of a hand.
yeah, that's a heater. Well played.
All right. Just checking my messages. All right. Players sideboarding here. We'll fast forward through that eventually. If anybody has any thoughts about the initiative mirror, I'd love to hear them. What is the key to the initiative mirror, other than obviously taking the initiative? But what are the key cards? What is there an approach that has worked for you? I'm curious what people think. I've been playing the initiative deck myself, and if I'm being completely honest, I haven't quite figured it out. All right, one card going on the bottom here for Roland.
All right, here we go. Let's pedal.
Yep.
Try for white.
Pedal into Ancient Tomb. Here's White Plume Adventurer for Roland. X-Grave is here. Hello, Chris. Hello, chat. Hello, X-Grave. Draw less Chalice, yeah. Ninja God King says mirror breakers like Ephemerate are really good.
Okay.
Andrew Ahern says shuffle real good.
I like
What's up, Andrew?
the simplified Chinese.
Oh, it's Japanese.
Oh, Japanese. They're kind of
usually-
similar characters.
Yeah, very similar, but yeah, these ones are all English. Mostly should be Japanese or English.
I will play Caracas. I will play.
Caracas just played by Michael. Let's see what the follow-up is here. Thinking about some mana rocks, it seems.
I had to keep that 4 though, I think.
Double LED Faithless? Yeah.
It's just like
Chrome.
That's pretty good for us.
Exiling.
Oh, it was double LED.
Chrome Mox exiling Archon of Emeria and a pass. White Plume. Well, Roland thinking about which room it is, actually.
Let's go forward.
All right, Roland's going to add 2+1/+1 counters, but it's getting swords in response with the Undercity's trigger on the stack.
I think you got it too. I think I got a control of the next attack. It's a 3 acre. Well, at least you killed both your creatures.
Yeah.
Jay Liddy says, Archon is my favorite card to turbo out in the mirror. Yeah, that card seems pretty good in the matchup.
I
Thalia.
Okay. Athalia getting cast from Michael. So if you're playing the initiative mirror, are you siding out some number of Thalias, or are you keeping all of them in? What's your take on that, Chet? Because we see Michael with a post sideboard Thalia here. Even Mind Sensor is the card that got flashed in by Roland. Yeah, I've been siding out all copies of Thalia in the mirror post sideboard. Romario, thanks for the raid. Welcome everybody. We're watching some matches from SCG CON New Jersey's Legacy 10K. All right, Roland drops a mountain, and here's another white plume for Roland. Next room is draw a card.
Yep.
Take the initiative. Draw a card.
Yep.
Treasure.
Second overhead. 2.
I think I'm locked into this. I'll try Solitude, pitching Palace
All
Channel.
good.
This?
Yep. Or 19. Or
I'm at 19 after that because of power. Right?
yes.
Okay.
This will die.
All right.
All right, Solitude hits even Mind Sensor.
Tap.
Looks like Michael just drew a white plume, but is not able to cast it just yet. Source of Plowshares on Roland's white plume for now, and it looks like an attack will give Michael the initiative for the first time this game.
I'll go to the secret entrance. Nothing's preventing my search.
All right, so Michael in the secret entrance will now search for a basic. This time it's a Snow Mountain. It'll get played, and that'll set up Michael for next turn being able to cast a white plume. And Roland now on the back foot, it seems. Roland was one room away from the ultimate. A creature that takes the initiative could be really good here for Roland.
What's on order?
Make a skeleton.
I'm gonna put this down and then human.
Okay.
Please spellbinded. Forget the initiative.
All right, Elite Spellbinder comes in for Roland. That's not a creature that takes the initiative. And we're going to see Michael's hand, which is a White Plume Adventurer and a Fable of the Mirror Breaker checklist card, which is what we all want. White Plume Adventurer will be placed in exile and will cost 2 more to cast, so that'll be on hold for now. Let's see what Michael does with the initiative on upkeep. Venturing into the second room and choosing to scry. Choosing to scry over giving Thalia 2+1/+1 counters. So the next room for Michael will be to either go to create a treasure. Right. Left both on top, it looked like. Playing an Ancient Tomb. And going for Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. Which costs 4, thanks to Thalia. And Michael with the proper Goblin Shaman token. Very nice.
No cards in hand because I played a land and I paid 2 life. So I'm at 13.
Not sure why the Goblin has a die on it, though. Maybe that was meant for the Fable. All right, attacking with Thalia. And let's see how the Spellbinder does taking this turn with taking the initiative and giving Roland the ultimate.
No blocks, 10.
All right, Roland entering the last room of the Undercity and going to reveal the top 10 cards of the deck. Let's see. Looks like there's a Seasoned Dungeoneer, a White Plume Adventurer, Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Looks like Roland is going to choose Caves of Chaos. The Caves of Chaos attack ability is pretty nice, but the Seasoned Engineer ability is also really nice at taking the initiative. All right, so it's Seasoned Engineer it is. It'll be a 6/7 with Hexproof until Roland's next turn. Roland, it looks like, has 2 cards in hand. Michael has 0. Taylor, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
I'm not therapy.
All right, Roland passes the turn. Roland has a 6/7 Seasoned Engineer on defense. White Plume Adventurer is in exile from Michael. Can be cast for 5 mana. Fable will be triggered here. Michael thinking about discarding. Looks like maybe an Ancient Tomb was the card in hand. Not 100% sure.
I'm gonna discard this to draw.
Okay, discarding a Seasoned Engineer to draw. The Palace Jeweler in the top left of your screen is just in exile, but the White Plume Adventurer is in exile from Elite Spellbinder.
If you hit, or if I tap this, I just die. I'm at 16.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
The Goblin Shaman should not have any counters on it. I'm not really sure why that die is on there. Okay, it doesn't matter. Michael scoops it up. We're going to game 3.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, so I'll take 6. You got 5.
I will keep this.
Go ahead.
This one I'll pitch Ponder.
Michael thinking about how to start this game. Both players have kept 7. It is a Arid Mesa getting cracked. Okay.
Covered plains. You'd be surprised if you were on Wasteland, but
If there's enough room for it.
I'll play Chromux, exile Spirit Guide, and cast Thalia.
Okay. Turn 1 Thalia for Michael. Leaving in the Thalia's post sideboard. And there will be attacks now if Roland wants to also play some Chrome Moxes or Lotus Petals. Which isn't bad. All right. Planes for Roland. Petal getting paid for and passing the turn. Archon of Emeria, as we just spoke about a moment ago. Pretty good in the mirror. Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, Cavern of Souls, all will enter tap now for Roland. 1 spell per turn for both players. Thalia gets an attack in.
I'm either going to win every round every game.
Looks like the last 2 cards in hand from Michael are another Archon and a Plateau.
Two cards.
Roland with plenty of cards in hand, but we'll see if Roland has something to do this turn.
Yep.
Ancient Tomb enters tapped. This is why Archon's pretty good. Enters tapped, Ancient Tomb not nearly as good as enters untapped. Of course. Looks like Michael just drew a Solitude, which will be pretty good. Plateau comes in.
Yeah.
And attacking for 4, rolling down to 14. Solitude pitching Archon of Emeria is a possibility here for Michael. Chose not to cast the second Archon of Emeria that I think is in hand to make that possible.
For Decklists, for the Flesh and Blood event, paper Decklists are required.
All right, White Plume Adventurer is cast here for Roland, taking 2 damage from Ancient Tomb. Heading into the first room of the Undercity and searching for evasive. Let's see if Roland picks out a mountain or a plains. Mountain it is. I don't think Roland's made a land drop. Yeah, no, Roland has not made a land drop this turn, so this mountain can enter. But maybe Roland will prioritize it and enters the battlefield tapped land and save the mountain for next turn. Perlin, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Okay, the mountain gets played.
This is a player announcement. I get Flesh and Blood player Chris Stevens to the stage, and Desmond Lee to the stage. That is
And a White Plume Adventurer for Michael. And a resolve. Pretty good. Michael will now enter the Undercity and search up a Snow Plains, put it in hand.
This will be an exile and rebound. We'll go into the stash and make second treasure.
That was a pretty good draw for Michael. The Archon of Emeria would have been able to attack to take the initiative anyway, but pretty good.
Trigger. Okay, sure.
Flesh and Blood Yellowhearted.
Second main phase. I agree. End of second main.
You have 55 minutes.
Great question from Orcan Man. Something I missed. Sequencing. Why not attack first, take the initiative, and then play White Plume to venture further? Might have been a lot better, yeah. Great point. Solitude pitching Seasoned Engineer, targeting White Plume. And channeling Touch the Spirit Realm, targeting Solitude. This is pretty good for Roland.
Abilities on the stack. I have to make a decision.
We know Michael has access to a Solitude of his own.
Discard.
Solitude pitch, Archon. I'll target your Solitude.
Okay, so responding to the Touch the Spirit Realm channel ability, evoking a Solitude, pitching Archon of Emeria. White Plume Adventurer on Michael's side will get exiled by Roland's Solitude. Yeah, Michael was not able to cast a second spell. That's a great point by Twitch chat. Not much we can do about that right now, but both players seem to have missed it. That Solitude on Michael's side was not legal after playing White Plume earlier in the turn.
Let's see.
Clock.
Let's see. Second main.
Yep.
3 and 11.
Yep.
Lauren of the Third Path is going to target Chromox. Yeah, Channel isn't a spell, it's an ability. So Roland was in the clear. Michael cast White Plume Adventurer earlier in the turn and then evoked a Solitude, which is casting a spell. That's 2 spells for Michael. Roland only cast 1, which was the Solitude.
Incarnation. So element is good for that.
Thank you so much.
Good thing. I'll keep.
Is it showing to me?
Yeah.
It's start showing.
I think I have to race you. I'll try Forge.
Oh man. Close, kind of close.
Draw for turn.
Yeah, very close.
Hopefully I got you a little nervous.
Okay. Forge will put 2 counters on Archon of Emeria. Here's a Thalia.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. It's a miss trigger, but it's fine.
He was always a jerk anyway.
Okay, Roland untapping White Plume a bit late here.
It's kind of
Yeah, I mean, they were all kind of
you were
nail
sweating.
biters
You were
there.
like, oh man.
I will.
Both of
pass
us
turn
can
two.
just like win, like with a single good turn. So it's like
I cited my extra briefs and I cited Firestorm. See, I'm pretty sure it's vigilant.
This is not vigilant.
That's not vigilant. This is.
Is it? Can we judge?
Oof. All right. Roland, not sure if Lauren has vigilance. I believe it does. I don't have it in front of me right now, but
it's not that taking the initiative does that much for you. But
is this live? I am live. Yes.
I'll still, I'll still be happy with,
yeah, I mean, I guess the first ring does
It
nothing
does have
for
vigilance.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Then you get to
All
like put some
I'm going to
counters
your
on a
turn.
zombie, I
If
guess.
you add any pauses, let me know. Okay.
It does have vigilance.
Playing with foreign language cards you can't read, and yeah, great plan. Yeah. I don't know if us Magic players are gonna make it. Everybody, we got a lot of problems. All right. Each player draws a card with Lauren here. Loran, Loran. Nobody knows. White Plume Adventurer attacking.
She has like a turn one therapy.
you say both?
Or like
No,
a
just
turn
one.
one grief.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, this already tapped.
it takes,
I will-
like, it is what it is. But like, I have to.
I will block this.
I don't think I'm gonna do much better.
Okay, chump blocking with Thalia to protect the initiative. Roland reveals a hand of looks like 3 lands, and can't even make out what that last one is, but Michael gets it. An unfortunate, it's not even a missed trigger. What is it? A missed rule or something by both players with that Archon of Emeria on that key turn with Solitude. That was hard to watch, not going to lie. Roland being able to remove 2 creatures with that Solitude would have been great. Yeah, missed opportunity. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these things happen. All of us. Yeah, that would be a game rule violation by Michael, yeah. All of us can learn from watching something like that, and you just have to be mindful of all the abilities of the cards on the table as much as you can, and not just your own cards, your opponents as well. And don't autopilot or say sure or okay about everything. Think for a moment. Skip. Don't skip the little beat that you can take to think for everything, especially in high stakes Magic. What else can we really say? Yeah, always slow down. Read everything. Don't react until you've just take a quick glance at everything that's going on and make sure it's all good. The game rule violation was an Archon of Emeria on the table on Michael's side, and a second spell being cast by Michael on that turn, which was a Solitude to protect a big play from Roland, which likely would have given Roland a huge advantage in the game of Solitude plus Channel. Touch the Spirit Realm. So, yeah, something to learn for all of us by watching that match, I would say. I'm just setting up the overlays, and we are diving in. On the left side of your screen is one of our viewers, one of our community members. Be excellent with initiative against Dave Kaplan, one of the stars of the show, I would say. With Is It Delver? All right, sounds like Kaplan is on the play and has kept 7. Or maybe both players mulligan to 6. Maybe that's what the dice on the table mean. Let's see. Okay, Dave Kaplan has put 1 card on the bottom, and Be Excellent has mulliganed to 5. So my mistake, they did not keep 7. Be Excellent has taken a mulligan.
Focus on not going to time. Because that's like my least favorite thing to do. If I seem not talkative, that's why. Not because I don't want to catch up. Like I'm excited to like learn more about what your thoughts were on playing out. Sure. 7.
It's not a bad thought.
Attack 1. Get the initiative. Want to be some different color, purple? Yeah, that works for me. I get a basic plan.
All right, moments away from getting started, it seems. Be Excellent keeping the 5-card hand. Be Excellent puts 2 cards on the bottom. Kaplan has mulligan to 6. Kaplan on the play, fetching a Pluto Delta to start.
So it's a Delver.
So I almost upon resolve, so have it.
So it's Delver plan.
This was this is round 2 of 8. There were 8 rounds of Swiss before top 8. X-Grave pointing out, I believe this initiative player was one of the trial winners Friday. I think that's correct. Someone could go fact check that. Be Excellent, a part of the extended 90s MTG family. It was nice to meet them at this event. Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, and pass.
Yes, backwards.
Sorry, I was like,
NV Adams with a great question. What are your opinions on the initiative decks? People in the modern Discord are apparently saying it's killing the format. There's a wide range of different opinions on this. I know you're asking for my opinion. My opinion is it's not killing the format. I think that would be extreme to say. The win percentages are, again, according to MTGO, there are not that many large tabletop events happening, but according to the data that I see posted in the 90s MTG Discord from MTGO, it seems like slowly the initiative win rates are dwindling down, but the share of the metagame for initiative and Delver is relatively high compared to what we're used to. I personally don't really see that as a bad thing all by itself. Like 2 decks being the best decks and taking up a wide meta share is not necessarily a bad thing for me personally. I'm playing the initiative deck. I like the deck. I like playing the mirror so far. I like playing the deck against other kinds of decks, including Delver. I think the gameplay is interesting. I don't know how the other people feel. But the last thing I'll say to wrap up the whole thought is there are key cards, important, relevant cards, missing from MTGO. I don't know what the timeline is for those cards to be added to MTGO. I don't think anybody does. Lightning Bolt takes out Palace Jailer here. Be Excellent is still the Monarch. But when those cards are added to MTGO, I think we'll get a really clear look at, are these decks initiative, that is, and Delver. Too good? Are they too powerful? Can't be beaten from the top? And at that point, I think I personally will have a... I'll feel like I have a more confident opinion on what needs to happen as far as updating the ban and restricted list. I'm not a big ban person. I'm not... I lean more towards just keep all the cards available and let's figure it out. As long as, the gameplay is fun, which I find it to be, I'm good. Other people don't think it's fun, and that's fine. Not everybody liked Cons of Tarkir Limited either, Like, you're not going to please everybody. Not everybody likes Ravnica. Not everybody wants, combo metas. Not everybody wants aggro metas. Not everybody wants blue piles to be the best deck. Some people insist that we need a blue pile to be the best deck. Can't please everybody.
Creature as well, so I'm taking 3.
No, just instantly creature.
Instant land creature. Okay, so I'm just going to 6.
Richard in Pizza says we could just unban Deathrite Shaman. Yeah. I don't know if I'm for that. I didn't really like Deathrite Shaman in the format. So Kaplan is now the Monarch here in Game 1. I missed a bunch of play-by-play trying to give a thorough answer to a question I'm getting a lot, which is why I tried to give a thorough answer. Here's Thalia. Seems like it can't be countered. Cavern of Souls most likely on human. I also, I'll just add this one more thing. I know I said one more thing a moment ago, but some people are not liking Commander products and these supplemental sets adding cards to Legacy that are not designed with 1v1 constructed in mind, like White Plume Adventurer and Seasoned Dungeoneer, and many other cards that have been designed over the last decade, like going all the way back to True Name Nemesis. They don't like that. I like it. I like it. I think it's cool. What's happening on the Commander tables, I want to grab some of what they're doing and try it too. I don't want to feel like I don't get to try all those cards because they're designed for multiplayer. Unless the card says if you have something, something outrageous, like if the game started, excuse me, if you have one opponent remaining, you win the game, or something like that, that would just be ridiculous. That card would obviously need to be banned. Okay. We're getting a judge call here. I remember Kaplan speaking to me about this between rounds. This is a force on Thalia, and there's some debate over whether the cavern was intended to be used to make Thalia uncounterable. Let's see what the judge says.
And what's happened since then?
So I forced a will date. I didn't realize he was using the...
Can't be counted force.
Right.
And then nothing else has happened since then, and then that's when you called the judge over?
Mystic Sanctuary.
I had a trigger off Dragon's Rage Channeler.
And it's 6 damage on all you hit?
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, Cavern of Souls is assumed to be used. There is a shortcut in the term rules that specifies that that ability specifically is just assumed to be used if the mana could be used for the creature spell. So the Thalia is uncounterable, and there is nothing illegal in this game state currently. So there's nothing that I can do to rewind this game state.
I had a decision in my head and then I second guessed myself.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that there's no human tag on the card.
Well, it's a human soldier. Like I very clearly said I was writing it down here. If you'd like, we could put a human tag on it.
Also, if your heads up, I am not one of the head judges for this tournament, so you do have the right to appeal this tournament. I'll be right back. We're at table 10.
Okay, so a judge ruled that the shortcut of just declaring that the cavern is on human and then tapping it and casting a human, it's assumed that you intended to make it uncounterable. Dave Kaplan is appealing. It seems like Kaplan is unsure if the cavern was on human or it not being tagged as human with some kind of a piece of paper or something. Made the situation confusing. Let's see what happens.
Hi, I'm Travis, the head judge for today's events. Ryan has explained to me briefly what happened, so I'm going to start by explaining what I've been told, give you each a chance to add or correct that record, and then we're going to issue a final ruling. Does that sound good? Sure. My understanding is Thalia was cast recently using the Cavern of Souls, which had named human ability. Force Will was cast targeting Thalia on the stack. Since then, Thalia has resolved and we've cast some more spells. Is that an accurate summation of what's happened? Okay.
The only spell that's been cast is Force of Will,
okay.
And then the trigger resolved on that, and he...
we resolved the survey. And that's where we are now. We've just Force Will and Thalia are both still on the stack. We resolved the surveil from Drag Race. That's where we are now. Everything else I said was correct? Yes. Okay. Excellent. So, we do have a shortcut for Cavern of Souls where the precedent is that players assume to be using that colored mana that is for the uncountered spell, unless they say otherwise, if the effect is correct. So Thalia is uncounterable and a legal target for Force of Will. So,
Chatter, no indication on the cavern.
as long as
I wrote it down right here.
As long as it was named on the card display, that satisfies that requirement. So I am upholding for this ruling. This is a legal game state, and we'll play on from here. I'm also going to give you a 3-minute time limit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be on the fly. I will give you a 5-minute extension. I wanted to hold on for the chance.
Okay, so force pitching Brainstorm. Legal target is Thalia, but it cannot be countered is the final ruling from the head judge. Dave Kaplan appearing in the chat a moment ago that the creature that was exiled by Jailer did not come back when Kaplan took the Monarch. I'm not a judge, but Aquinas in the chat is. In fact, I saw them wearing a judge shirt at this event. The Jailer player has the obligation to put that trigger on the stack and give you back your creature. If you notice it after the fact, policy is to return the creature when you notice the error, even though a lot of things have happened since then. So something to keep in mind with that, everybody. It is one player's responsibility to remember that trigger, but you also should try to remember it. I guess is what we're learning.
I mean, it was close, right?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, like, man, it's gonna be tough, but if he does win, I like my chances.
What name, Cleric? I'll write it down over here.
Can I eventually back here as well?
Cast White Plume Adventurer?
Okay, this White Plume Adventurer is being cast. It can be countered, which is unfortunate because Dave Kaplan needlessly threw away a Force of Will here, not knowing the ruling on Thalia. Or not knowing that Thalia can't be countered, let's say. All right, Snow-Covered Plains gets digged up here by Be Excellent, a beautiful Ice Age version, I should add. This is a new cavern on Cleric? Oh, you're right. There is a Wasteland. There was a Wasteland played. Yeah, it's getting a little bit hard to keep up with this game, to be honest, and also answer questions from the chat. So that is a cavern on Cleric. So White Plume cannot be countered.
May I have the Monarch, please?
All right, so this attack gives Be Excellent the Monarch as well.
upkeep, untap poly. Oh, look at that.
Swing for 3. 16, second main.
Upkeep. I'm going to go to
Send a hand like that back.
yeah. Lost Will, Scry.
On the draw too.
This is still pretty good. Like, yeah, it kills your time.
Put that on the bottom of my deck. Draw step. Draw.
Okay, heading over to the scry side of the Undercity. Here's the snow-covered plains we knew about. 1 card left in hand. Or 2 cards left in... Oh, 3 cards left in hand for Be Excellent. My bad. Looked like 1 for a second.
Go ahead and declare attack. Attack with both of these.
Attacking for 5, putting Kaplan down to 10.
I'm gonna post combat. I'm gonna attempt to cast White Plume Adventurer using the cleric cavern.
All right, Be Excellent being a little bit more clear about the cavern now, which the head judge actually said they did not need to do, but doing it anyway. Kaplan thinking.
I said very clearly using the cleric.
Very clearly
Okay.
trying to get a scry.
Okay, I understand. Sorry. So I believe if I name that, you can play either.
Okay. Both players getting a little frustrated here, it seems. Force pitching, expressive iteration to get a surveil trigger. Be Excellent gets another initiative trigger, taking a look at Kaplan's graveyard for delirium.
Further, you can use the petty tap ability from exile. Presumably
When it was a desktop client, you're playing Arena.
I will go to Arena when he resolves. So I'm goading your...
Okay, goading Dragon's Rage Channeler here, heading to the center room of the Undercity. And next turn we'll either be able to draw a card or make a skeleton.
The Monarch will trigger. So we'll draw for that. And then during your upkeep, these 2 will be untapped.
Be Excellent being very clear about this. Both creatures untapped on upkeep. And here's a Murktide for Kaplan.
So nice.
Looks like Kaplan is trying to make an 8/8.
I will block it with one of the white ones.
All right. The Dragon Rage Channeler, which was goaded, attacking right into the defenders. And drawing a card now in the archives during upkeep is Be Excellent. You can cast a counterspell in response to Cavern Creature. It just doesn't counter it. Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
Play a Cavern of Souls. This one will name Human.
So now there's a Cavern on Cleric and a Cavern on Human.
I'll tap my Cavern of Souls that's named Human in 2 of these. Elite Spellbinder.
Back like that.
Okay, good game.
All right. Be Excellent takes game 1. Having some interesting games on today's stream, I would say that. I'll say that. These competitive legacy tournaments, competitive Magic tournaments, really can be stressful at times. This is round 2. This is round 2. I have the round marked right below me here. JH Stock is here, everybody. Or can making a great point. Cards like Subtlety and Mind Break Trap work around can't be countered. Exactly. Yeah, Kaplan did not have Delirium. I apologize if I said he did. He did not, which is why the Dragon's Rage Channeler was blocked. Okay, it looks like Kaplan has kept a hand, but Be Excellent has mulliganed. Not 100% sure.
It's only good against Shuka. It's not good against the. It's okay if because the timing is hard, right? Oh yeah. It's just how I play the Cephalus because of the brainstorm. Responsibility trigger. That's true. I played a lot of this deck, and if you haven't had a play around every time, really good games.
Okay, both players kept 7. Scalding Tarn pass from Kaplan.
Game 1 was brutal too. All you need is for you to draw a little more. Or me to draw a little bit.
JH Stock does not have live stream fatigue. JH Stock is ready to go. I Gonjo for Be Excellent in passing the turn. Kaplan correcting this Scalding Tarn. Some of the regular viewers of this channel are starting to get Magic Tournament fatigue. Every time I stream, I get messages. Another Magic Tournament? When does it end? When does it end? Do they have to have Magic Tournaments every week? They're getting fatigue. All right, Steam Vents entered tapped. Now it's untapped. Polluted Delta.
Maybe it's worth leaving a few in. We can always throw them to Chrome boxes. I'm already bringing in I was bringing in Containment Priest and Fairy.
Kaplan cracks the Polluted Delta. Gets a Volk.
I don't think with my own stuff is that valuable.
Yeah, Magic players get fatigued very easily. Unchained Berserker comes in for Kaplan. Be Excellent gives the deck a nice shuffle. Unchained Berserker, you know, we talked about this several times over the last couple of weeks. I'm skeptical this card is worth it in Delver sideboards, but it's still finding slots along with cards like Blood Knight. Does anybody have a take on that? Has anybody tested it and says it's outstanding? Does anybody care? Nobody cares. Okay. Dune HS, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
I think I'm human. Good against it.
All right, this cavern is on human.
Yeah, it's gonna be
All right, here's Thalia. And it cannot be countered. Yeah, initiative decks are running Walking Ballistas now for creatures like Unchained Berserker.
So I take 3.
Empty Shrine, Kanushi, all that.
The deck is, I would assume you're good enough, and the deck is also good enough. And you put it together, I'm sure you're good.
Life totals on the phone need to be updated. I believe Be Excellent is now at 17, Kaplan at 18.
Yeah, that's a questionable spot.
Yes, it was Chalice, Containment Priest, Fairy Macabre.
Yeah, no.
I was like, alright.
That's a lot of that's on me.
Yeah, Trimney Nemesis also getting some play.
I just I have double force to stop solitudes. I against the Containment Priest.
When you went to info the first time, I should have cast a solitude on it. So that way you force, and then if I go for Containment Priest, that's better.
I had double force to fight both. I just couldn't beat the fairy Macabre.
Okay. If I go for two things and you force them both, and then you lose it, you're probably not taking this big probability. Okay.
That's why I went for it, because it was I can stop Containment Priest and Solitude.
Yes.
How much hate could he have? I lose the Fairy Macabre 3 up probably in a sideboard.
Yes.
I don't know, but you passing and doing nothing means you don't have Thalia. It means you don't have,
I boarded out Thalia.
Slows the flashers.
That's reasonable.
Pay the extra 1 for the Thalia attacks.
It slows down me a little bit, but it's not
All right, swords on Delver. That'll resolve. Delver's gone.
Clear attack with Thalia.
In the game you played,
For 2. For 2 is 17.
a lot of your deck is creatures. You're not that dependent on your.
Kaplan's down to 17.
You're not
board out. I board out like some number of monitors against you too. So
Yeah, because I have child. Like, I think having the child spin, I know you got lots of answers for it, but like it's still sort of like helps to get.
So I believe both players are at 17 now. Apologies that the phone isn't getting updated. I tend to tell players keep it updated as best as you can. And playing these high stakes matches, it's understandable that they're not focused on it. Be excellent, I believe, down to 14 now.
go. I hit all dread return. I was like, well, I'm screwed the fairy because like my win is so slow at this point.
You're basically just making.
Great question from PL. Chris, are you going to play Black Knight and Curses? That, that's tempting, actually. That's pretty tempting.
It's all good, man. Good luck.
It may be time to bring back Curses, everybody. Kyle Marcos says, just wanted to say thanks for the great content and all the work that goes into it. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Here's Elite Spellbinder. It cannot be countered. It's a human.
Okay, so it looks like 2 Murktide.
Double Murktide, Expressive Iteration, Brainstorm, Fury, and Lightning Bolt.
Expressive. 1 Brainstorm.
How's Curses in Delver Initiative meta? Honestly, I haven't tried it, but it may be worth a try. If anybody out there has tried it, definitely get in touch with me and let me know. I did see a Curses deck do well in a smaller event recently. I don't remember where that was. Mono Black Helm, as PL points out in the chat, decent spot right now. We saw it top 8 this event.
Hi. So I just used Elite Spellbinder, and I looked at his hand and I wrote down all the cards, but I didn't actually name a card.
Yes.
And then I went to comment.
Sorry, I thought you said 14.
Oops.
So we were at the point here. So you got ahead, you did the Elite Spellbinder. We both agree you didn't choose a card.
That's correct.
Okay. So unfortunately for Elite
And it's
Spellbinder,
a you may. Okay.
it is May. You made the choice not to because
Okay.
we have progressed past that.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for catching that anyway. I appreciate it.
All right, Elite Spellbinder did not choose a card. I missed that. Trying to answer questions from chat, but yeah, a unfortunate error here by Be Excellent, which Kaplan pointed out. Here's a Brainstorm. Yeah, Fury is a good card against this board state, exactly.
Nothing else?
Yeah, I know. It's like.
It would have been better than my modifier, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, the deck. Yeah, it's unfortunate how that played out, but it's probably definitely.
All right, here's Fury hitting the stat, getting evoked, pitching Expressive Iteration. It's going to likely eliminate both creatures on Be Excellent side. They are gone. Attacking with Unchained Berserker. Be Excellent is now down to 11. Try and post like a life totals of my own here. Players have neglected the phone on the table. Sorry about that. So corrected life totals are in our overlay.
Let's go ahead and go to game 3.
All right, we're going to game 3.
I think if I named both there, that would have potentially complicated, but yeah, I guess you could have pitched Expressive Iteration.
Yeah, Unchained Berserker did look pretty good there. The initiative where Monarch never came into play that turn. But yeah.
Yes, sir. Good luck. Have fun. You too.
Just wanted to take a quick moment as we start Game 3 to thank some new YouTube members, Zane Aga, Evan Husney, and Lucas Von Flew. Thank you for hitting the join button on our YouTube channel. I appreciate that very much.
Go ahead.
All right, a Snow Plains for Be Excellent. It looked like both players mulled. Delver comes in for Kaplan. Ancient Tomb.
Pass the turn. Okay, it's just a little drop. Okay. Go to 19.
All right, Delver hits. Be Excellent goes to 19. I guess I'll try to keep life totals updated for us again. All right, Brainstorm here for Kaplan. End of turn, Swords of Plowshares on Delver.
Okay, you're back at 20, is that correct? No, you didn't fetch, so you're still 20, you're 21. Upkeep, draw step. Seasoned Dungeoneer.
Seasoned Engineer hitting the stack, paying 4 life is Be Excellent.
Going to 16. Got you at 20. I'm at 16, I believe. Oh wait, you're right. I'm sorry, I took a point from the Delver. I'm 15. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll just use the phone for now. I'm having trouble keeping up with what's going on. They're saying numbers and then changing numbers. Life totals appear to be correct on the screen now.
Three cards.
All right, a fetch here for Kaplan. Back down to 19. Getting a bulk.
Resolve.
Expressive Iteration hitting the stack here for Kaplan. Mechanic Island getting placed into exile. It's getting played.
Two, 4, 6. Walking Ballista.
Walking Ballista X is 3.
That's correct.
Going down to 11 is Be Excellent here in game 3. Walking Ballista pretty good. They'll be able to recharge without paying any life, especially will be good if Be Excellent can find another planes, let's say. All right, here's Murktide. That's pretty good against Walking Ballista. It'll have 3 counters on it.
Keep draw step.
If Be Excellent has a way to remove this Murktide, this Walking Ballista could get really mean. Lead Spellbinder reveals Chain Lightning, Brazen Borrower, Unchained Berserker. Yeah, Delver was Swords, which gained Kaplan a life.
Cast Petty Theft even if it's exiled with Lead Spellbinder. It's just 4 mana instead of. Is that correct?
Okay, it sounds like they're not sure about how Brazen Borrower works with Elite Spellbinder. If you can still cast Petty Theft.
Brazen Borrower and Elite Spellbinder, so you can still cast the alternate cost if I exile it.
And I cast the Honest Venture.
It's a good question. I believe the answer is yes.
They're different cards, right?
Yeah, so they can be either mode can be cast when it's exiled from Elite Spellbinder. Just either mode will cost 2 additional mana. Is that correct?
The judge is Googling it. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if
Judges take out their phone and type in google.com, then go to the search bar and type in the entire explanation and see what comes up.
okay. It just says for as long as the owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more.
I believe it is going to affect the named card by the Spellbinder, being that it's a split card, it's 2 different things. So let me confirm on that.
Well, it's not a named card, it's just like exile a non-named card. It doesn't name the card.
So, give me 1 second.
Sorry.
All right, judge seems unsure and going to go check with the level 7 judge. I think they're getting Mark Rosewater on the phone now. Mark Rosewater is having lunch with his family, and the phone is ringing right now with the judge standing right next to Dave Kaplan. So we'll see. Action-packed live stream today.
So, it is going to affect the odds. It's 2,000 cards. It's not considered 2 cards. It's going to affect the odds. So either, whichever side you decide to cast, if you was to Elite Spellbinder, the Brazen Borrower, if you were to do Brazen Borrower, it's going to cost 2 more. If you were to do Petty Thief, I think it's called, it would also cost 2 more.
Okay. I will name Brazen Borrower. Or I won't name it, I'll just point to this card because you don't name the card. So that remains in exile. If you want, we can just put like a dice on it or something. That's fine.
Okay, Brazen Borrower has been chosen by Elite Spellbinder and placed into exile. Either side of Brazen Borrower, Petty Theft or Brazen Borrower, will cost 2 more if they get cast from exile. Passing the turn back to Kaplan, who has a 6/6 Murktide on the table. There's Expressive Iteration. Pretty good. Misty Rainforest gets found. Gets played. Chain Lightning targeting Walking Ballista here. Nope. The the Spellbinder. Yeah, that makes sense. It flies. Attacking with Murktide Regent for 6. Putting Be Excellent down to 5. Double fetch here for Kaplan. No response. Chain Berserker will enter here. Brazenbauer is not on an adventure. It's exiled by Spellbinder. Walking Ballista can potentially shoot this Berserker.
I'm going to go ahead and ping him. Declare attack for 2.
15.
Murktide attacks for lethal here. Let's see if Be Excellent has a response. Blessed Alliance.
Target players opponent sacrifices an attacking creature.
All right, Murktide sacrificed. Wasteland on the City of Traders. Those Ancient Tombs are basically shut off with Kaplan having a Chain Lightning.
It will be no longer exiled.
Yeah. So the first one is going to cost 2.
Okay, Brazenbauer is exiled by Spellbinder. Still, Kaplan verifying that if they were to cast Petty Theft and the Brazenbauer changes zones and then goes back into exile on an adventure, it will cost its usual amount, no longer having the 2-mana tax. Here's White Plume Adventurer. Kaplan says, sure. Be Excellent is now at 3, I believe. Here's a Plains. Walking Ballista is sacrificed. The Petty Theft should be countered. Not sure it matters.
I'm at 5. I'm at 3. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's him. Pick him.
Players with 3 should the result into the mail.
Okay. Kaplan gets that one. There was a lot going on there. I don't know why these past 2 streams I keep clicking the wrong thing. My bad. Take 2. All right. On the left side of your screen is Sam Bogue with Initiative. On the right is Greg Berlin with Reanimator. If you're looking for deck lists from this event, they're posted all over the internet, but they're also posted in our Discord server. So players are ready to go. Maybe waiting for a cue. Nope. Once upon a time. Okay, Solitude found there by Sam to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 30 minutes to drive straight down into Queens, so you don't have to go through like Manhattan or anything like that. I mean, I used to live in Astoria for 6 years.
Ameria enters tapped. Quinn has said, I spoke with Sam after this match. He said he played against a guy with 90s MTG merch who was playing Tin Fins. Oh, so I guess it's this match? I see. Where's the merch? All right, here's Badlands. Greg is rocking the NYC Eternal Crew playmat. Oh, okay. Sam Bogue is a super nice guy. Also a streamer. I did not know that. Oh, and he's playing in the Pro Tour next month. Very nice. All right, here's a Faithless Looting for Greg. Discarding Gristlebrand and Shallow Grave, I believe. Here's Unmasked, pitching Chain of Smog. Let's see Sam's hand. City of Traders, Plains, Touch of Spirit Realm, Double Solitude, and Chromox. Touch of Spirit Realm thrown in the trash. Double Solitude will have to be dealt with, though. Ah, Anarchy says I had a 90s MTG t-shirt under my sweater. Got you. That explains it. All right, here's Cabal Therapy. It will remove the 2 Solitudes. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good Cabal Therapy. Greg fetching a Bloodstained Mire. Another looting for Greg. Drawing 2. Discarding a Faithless Looting, and it looks like a land. People watching at home will be able to see those cards a bit better than me. It's pretty small on my screen. Ganjo played as land for turn and passing. Here's Shallow Grave. Bristlebrand will enter. Greg will go down to 11. I'll get life totals up for us. Going to 4 life now is Greg. Usually when people say Tin Fins, they're referring to the decks with Children of Corliss and Shallow Grave. Right? Am I right on that? I'm kind of the worst with all the nicknames for decks. I'm not a big fan of the silly nicknames. I mean, I'm a... Okay, a little bit of confusion there about what is that Ameria card. Attacking now with Gristlebrand. I'm a definitely in the upper percentages for being knowledgeable about Magic cards and deck names. And still, I don't... Like, sometimes people will tell me, yeah, my opponent was playing what's one of these Cheerios or something, and I'm just like, I don't even know what's in that. I just don't. What's the combo? I don't know. All right, reanimate. Here's Children of Corliss.
I'll sack Children of Corliss, go back to 18.
You're going to go all your C's.
So that's going to be plus 15.
Unfortunately, no, that's awesome because then you can find them so quickly. For the whiteboarders,
I will
you need
gain
C and the black, you need tundra. I would do that on
22.
purpose.
Yeah,
Paid
So
once,
25.
twice. Yes.
I will draw 14, go to 11.
You take two.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll draw another 7, go to 4. One left.
All right, one left in the library. Greg down to 4. Drew the whole deck.
I'm sorry. Ritual. Green. Witherglow Princess. Two.
Brainstorm? Ouch.
Chain of Smock, so I get myself a game.
Okay. I want to see some cards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You see, here's my entire deck, minus 1 card.
one Archon, one Phyllis. I gotta read this one. Sure. Whenever you lose life, draw them any card.
It works with Reanimate, you draw 8 right away.
Where's the reanimate?
Huh?
I'm just looking for. Yep, cool. Alright.
Okay, Sam taking a quick look at the library after the Chain of Smog combo. Greg takes game 1.
I was going to shoot myself if we got it. Using illusionist to clear brainstorm is...
Now, I know Greg is playing Tin Fins, Chain of Smog combo, whatever, in Reanimator. Reanimator players out there right now, how do you feel your initiative matchup is at the moment? Are you feeling like that matchup goes pretty well for you, or is it a struggle? What are the Reanimators feeling right now? I'm curious. Let us know. All right, one card on the bottom for Greg. Chromox pitching Ameria's Call. Lotus Petal. Naming Cleric with Cavern. White Plume Adventurer comes in. Dio says initiative is rough. Daedric says if they land Chalice on 1, bad news. Fantasy says I don't remember if initiative runs laws type effect inside. I'm not sure what you mean by laws type effect.
I will pass it.
Go.
Oh, rule of law. Okay.
I will scratch it.
There's a Chalice on 0 on the board. Top both after Scry, chosen in the second room of the Undercity. Attacking for 3.
Short card.
That's fine.
Tomb hitting the stack and resolving. Villas is in the graveyard. Villas Broker of Blood. Pretty good with Reanimate.
Attempt to reanimate
Flashing containment priest.
Ooh, pretty good. Containment Priest in response.
Judge.
Containment Priest quite good against Reanimate effects. As most of you know, they're calling a judge for some reason though.
Reanimating a creature with mana value 8 and I cast a containment priest. Does my opponent lose 8 life?
Let me get the Oracle text to reanimate.
Awesome.
All right, great question here. Does Greg still lose life from Reanimate with Containment Priest on the battlefield?
Yeah, so there's two separate instructions. One is to put the creature, the other is to lose life. Containment priest only acts for it.
So you're going to go to 8?
Nope, can't do. Good luck.
You said pass?
And I'm going to give you guys the 1 minute time extension.
Awesome. I'll make a treasure token.
All right, upkeep, venturing into the Other City, making a treasure. 5 power on the board currently for Sam. Greg goes down to 3. Archon of Emeria, and that's a scoop. Going to game 3. Looks like Greg is mulliganing to 5. Sam looking at a 6-card hand, I believe, based on the die on the table. All right, so Greg looking at a hand here. Greg in the chat, I'm still not sure whether I should keep game 1 plan on the play for game 3 or stay transformed, referring to the Chain of Smog combo in the sideboard. Not sure. Looks like keeping this hand, thinking about 2 on the bottom. All right, 2 on the bottom for Greg. Sam mulligan to 6. Crack Inverted Catacombs to start off game 3 as Greg. Going down to 19. Gets a Bayou.
In case I drew like another
Good game. These Torpor Worms are new. I brought them in because they're like on the play good against initiative. And they also at least hit you in Doomsday. I was like, they're more versatile than just for the initiative.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, naming Villas Broker of Blood, putting it into the graveyard with Cabal Therapy. Exhume and Reanimator are the cards revealed in hand. Let's see what Sam has to stop all of this from happening. Reanimate. Villas next turn could draw Greg a whole new hand. Here's Chromox, pitching Swords of Plowshares.
But I hate opposition agent on the draw because like you're always waiting to see if they're gonna scrap, and you don't want to hold your mana up. So I brought in 4 Chalice, 4 Torpor, 2 Baleful Masters.
City of Traders pass. Unmask you, pitching Exhume. That was such a good draw. Containment Priest getting cast in response. Archon of Emeria, Chalice, and Chromox with the cards in hand. Chalice on 1 is pretty good here for Sam, though. Containment Priest plus Chalice on 1 will hold Greg back quite a bit. Finds a Lotus Petal and passes.
He's gonna start buying
2. Greg just finding mana.
Yes. And I think that the initiative matchup is actually good.
What? Hammer? First initiative, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it'll level out on turn.
Greg fetches down to 12. Gets a Badlands. Containment Priest plus Chalice on 1.
Well, good luck with the rest of the day.
I actually had a build where I had 4.
It's nice to start 306. There you go. On a deck that is objectively not that good of a deck. As long as you keep getting the... Do you not have other Saga targets in your sideboard?
I have Vials. I took them out.
No, you don't.
I'm not trying to like go play some kind of like bad Esper. The idea is to combo.
I don't really have much work to do in the offseason, so it's like 40 minutes from my house, so just about a little blue every week. So
Chromox pitching Amelia's call.
I've actually never been there. I've like only been games first. We have so many games. All we do is it's like really nice. My turn. But I go to the green.
All right. Sam takes the match. Well done. Yeah, Greg would have been able to Chain of Smug combo through that particular board, but removal spells could have disrupted that as well. Round 4 of SCG CON New Jersey Legacy 10K. Oh man, I just realized I've been forgetting to put the records on these round to round. I knew I was forgetting something. All right. Dragon's Rage Channeler to start us off from Matthew. Simian Spirit Guide, Ancient Tomb. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Does Matthew have a daze? Doesn't look like it. There's the Goblin Shaman token. Ponder, Serval. Mox Lotus, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Brainstorm dumped into the graveyard.
Shuffle Ponder? Sure.
Ponder, shuffle. No betting this stream, no. right, Ponder Cervelle. Thinking about the card on top. And Brazen Borrower is dumped into the graveyard, resolving Ponder now. Triggering the Fable of the Mirror Breakers, Chapter 2 here after draw step. Let's see if Michael discards anything.
Discard an Ancient Tomb to draw a card.
Discarding an Ancient Tomb to draw a card. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, as most of you know at this point, a pretty good card. Was overlooked a little bit in the beginning when Neon Dynasty first dropped, but I think everybody knows it's pretty good now. Attacking with the Goblin Shaman, making a treasure.
Swords, Dragon Rage Channeler.
Swords on Dragon's Rage Channeler. That'll resolve.
I will pay 2 life and a treasure for routine, play Thalia, Guardian of Raven.
It's our companion.
One mana floating.
Yeah. And then I'll pass turn.
This will be the one we trade back.
All right, Thalia enters, and it resolves. Fable of the Mirror Breaker will go to its 3rd chapter on Michael after Michael's next draw step. No initiative has been taken yet in this game. Murktide Region hitting the stack. Looks like it can be a 7/7.
You got it.
Not a
I'll go to I do not have a 3rd one. Drop. Trigger. You have the basic.
All right. There's the Mirror Breaker. Arid Mesa gets played here. Fetching. Going to 12. Michael finds a snow-covered mountain and plays it.
I'm going to cast 4 mana Touch the Spirit Realm.
Touch the Spirit Realm will be pretty good for removing this Murktide. No mana floating from Michael. Attacking for 4, triggering the Goblin to make a treasure. It might have been a little bit better to suicide the Goblin Shaman, but make a treasure to prevent daze. What do you think about that play, chat? Soda Master says, "Hi Chris, I'm looking for a cheapish, less than 1K combo deck for Legacy. So far, so Oops and Manala's Dredge." I mean, Burn is kind of a combo deck and is pretty cheap. I don't know what other decks that are combo decks could help you. 8 Casts and Death and Taxes are 2 decks without reserve list cards, though, that could help. Turbo Depths, yeah, I don't know how much Turbo Depths is. Omnitel has reserve list cards. So does Mono Black Helm. At least usually. Yeah, I don't know the prices. I'm kind of not really paying enough attention to that to say. But there might be some good tips in Twitch chat. So Michael has taken the initiative and is at 10 life. A little bit of glare on the phone.
I think I may have given it the opposite way.
Mystic Sanctuary from Matthew. I believe pointed at Brainstorm. Yep. Oh, that's the only option actually. Force pitching days on the White Plume. I think I said a moment ago that Michael took the initiative. That was wrong. That was still in the stack. My bad. It's really hard to follow the game and follow chat at the same time sometimes. All right, Goblin Shaman attacking here, making a treasure.
Pass turn.
Yep.
Yep.
Delver will flip on upkeep.
Good.
I just couldn't like wasteland. It's the land I can waste.
Okay.
Wasteland on the Ancient Tomb, pretty good. Attacking for 3 with Delver. Michael goes down to 7.
I didn't get the initiative, so all right.
Yeah.
End of turn, I will track the treasure to copy a Goblin Shaman.
You're not gonna use the ball. That's the end of turn?
This is on your end stats.
Okay.
So
you'll keep it on your turn.
Correct.
It's my second year.
All right, so a copy of the Goblin Shaman gets created here.
Reanimator on one, and then 4-color Winskin Blue.
I'm at 7, right?
Common control.
I will play City of Traders. Make another copy of Goblin Shaman with haste. And I will go to combat for 8 and make 3 treasures.
I'll be on the point.
Okay, attacking for 8 with 3 Goblin Shamans, 2 are copies, and Athalia creating 3 treasures here is Michael. Pretty good. We're seeing the power of Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Pass the turn, these go away.
That's yours.
Matthew is down to 5. I'm going to attack with this Delver.
Go to 4.
Brainstorm?
An extra. Yep, Brainstorm's good.
Pedro, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Michael's down to 4. This. Okay, so Murktide Regent coming in here for Matthew. It's a 5/5. Was attacking with Delver too risky, chat?
Okay, that's more for me. I'm more of like due west of Newark in the city, more than what's like north of us.
Chaos Adventurer.
Caves of Chaos Adventurer. used a treasure, the bottom right of your screen. The tokens are treasures. Here's the initiative, appearing for the first time in this game. And Michael will search for a basic.
Snow-covered mountain. I'll play the snow-covered mountain.
All right, playing the snow-covered mountain. Murktide is a 5/5. Michael has 2 cards in hand.
I will make a copy of Cave of Chaos Adventurer. Trigger. I'll put Forge on the Goblin Shaman.
Okay, so making a copy of Caves of Chaos Adventurer, using Forge to put some counters on the Goblin Shaman, attacking, making a treasure, and exiling the top card. It is a Fable of the Mirror Breaker and can be cast this turn.
6 on the ground and then 5 more.
Yeah, so I'm dead. I blocked that and I take 6.
Okay. Game 2.
Yeah, the City of Traders should have been sacked. You're right. All right, game 1 goes to Damon. All right, players drawing up hands here. Looks like Matthew will be on the play.
I'll keep. Got it.
Dragon's Rage Channeler to start us off.
Cavern of Souls? Sure. I'll name Human.
Cavern on Human.
Fable. Thalia? Yep. Go ahead.
If your opponent plays Cavern on Human, then follows up with a Chromox, and you have a Daze, or if you, rather, you not Daze, you have a Force of Will, would you fire it off on the Chromox? Or is it better to hold on to it? Unholy Heat on Thalia. Surveil. Ninja God King said that's aggressive. It would be aggressive, yeah. I'm wondering if anyone watching would do that. Depends on your hand, of course.
Human. Seasoned Dungeoneer.
Seasoned Dungeoneer getting cast. Can't be countered.
The Secret Entrance. I'll get Snow-Covered Plains. Go ahead.
Finding a Snow-Covered Plains in the first room of the Undercity after taking the initiative. 2 types in Matthew's graveyard.
Ponder trigger.
You got it.
All right, a Daze dumped into the graveyard with Surveil. Here's Ponder resolving.
Yeah. It's a weird one. Yeah, it's the first initiative against. Wow, that is how you win. The Death Shadow tests and learn. Yes. Am I supposed to board in some amount of these to hedge for the disruptors? I brought in yes, because it's good even if I don't have it. Like,
Attacking with DRC.
and it's also like a creature, so if I'm usually tapping out to attack you with my flyers if you have the initiative.
What's a creature sorcery instant land in the graveyard? Only 3 types.
I'll take one.
Probably worse.
All right, no blocks, says Michael. Matthew maybe was implying with that attack that I'm willing to 2-for-1 bolt this seasoned Dungeoneer. Playing a second Dragon's Rage Channeler now, and passing the turn. Matthew has the initiative. Michael trying to think about how to take it back. Twitch chat pointing out there's no damage for Ancient Tomb. I don't know if the players are writing life totals off screen. We'll see if the phone gets updated.
You put it into your hand or you put it back?
So it's explore, so I can either put it back or put it to the graveyard. If I put it to the graveyard, this grows.
Okay, so it's surveillance.
It actually grows whether or not you put it in the graveyard.
And it doesn't
Explore is, if it's a land, it goes in your hand. If it's not a land, you get +1/+1, and you can surveil, basically.
But it also doesn't not get bigger if it's a land?
No, if it's a land, it goes to my hand. I'm sorry.
Okay. But there's something to do with lands.
Neither player drafted enough Ixalan. We're going back to Ixalan soon, right? That should be fun.
Creatures. So it's because this ability is resolving, it's going to have additional creatures.
I mean,
And they've been good.
Cards in hand?
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, the seasoned engineer will have protection from creatures.
I'll throw it.
I'll take 4, go to 14.
14. I'll take the initiative and lost well.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, Michael moves to the second room. It's a Scry 2. And worth noting here, I'm not sure if Michael realizes this, but I believe you get a +1/+1 counter even if you leave the card on top. You don't have to put it into the graveyard to get +1/+1.
Snowcovered Plains. And play. Touch the Spirit Realm target here.
Cards in hand for that?
3.
Is that the second trigger?
I'm going to respond to
Okay, yeah.
13.
I'm still taking it.
Jam Ben, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Hobart Game says, I listened to the Artifact series of MTG audiobooks, the first of which was Brothers War, like 2 months before the set spoiled. So the story is fresh on my mind as the sets are coming out. It's been fun. That sounds fun. I'm just happy to see like Urza and Mishra and all these old characters back. I think Magic lore has a lot to offer. And some of the newer stories I don't find as interesting. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. I didn't really care what was going on Coldheim. All right, here's True Name Nemesis.
Name me, I assume.
Yes, name me. Instant, sorcery, land, no creature, so 1.
14, you'll take the initiative. Which is pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing a Friday stream.
Yep.
I mean, the story of Coldheim might have been great. I just didn't find myself interested to find out what it was.
Take 6. You're at 19, not 18, because you gained 1 for the sauce. I have 16.
I also have less free time to read Magic stories than I did when I was 8 years old.
That goes to my hand.
And it doesn't get any bigger. It's just
No, it's just 4.
If it's a non-land, then you get to decide. It does the thing. Yeah, okay.
So 4, I have you going to 9.
Yep, 9.
This True Name Nemesis has 2 power. 2 plus almost counters, I mean. Taking the initiative now is Michael.
Actually, I think I'm going to goad Dragon's Rage.
So that's going to have to attack.
Yes.
Okay.
Human mana, 13.
Yeah, you're
no, 12.
14 going.
For Caves of Chaos Adventurer.
You get it.
Caves of Chaos Adventurer on the stack. It cannot be countered. Brainstorm and Response, Serval. Murktide Regent dumped it to the graveyard. Side Norna is here, everybody. Side Norna, an important part of Twitch chat, consistently finds plays that were missed, rulings, all of it.
I have a zombie token. It's a 2/2.
Whatever you prefer, as long as we know what it is.
Only because you guys are on camera.
All right. Thank you so much. It's very embarrassing. Okay.
All right, there's a skeleton being provided by somebody at the next table, it seems.
I will pass.
Again, it's all the same.
So Michael's at 12. Potentially an attack for 8 here for Matthew. The Dragon's Rage Channeler does not have Delirium yet. I think they pointed that out. I'm not 100% sure. Can't see the entire graveyard. But it's been goaded.
Swords here.
Trigger.
Daze on the swords, which will likely counter it.
Oh man, I missed a land drop, I think, and I have lands in hand. I think you got it.
Yeah, you take 8, I trap you for 5, that's 13, you're at 12.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, it sounds like we're going to game 3. Michael seems unhappy with not making a land drop there. Protect against daze.
I'll keep this.
Draw a card. But it's not enough. Once you choose the first path, there's not really enough. Down your lane.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, seems like both players have kept 7. Snow-covered plains pass. Volcanic Island into Dragon's Rage Channeler. Crawl Mox. Pitching a touch of Spirit Realm. Paying 2 life, and White Plume Adventurer hitting the stack. Looks like it's resolving. No response from Matthew. Bolt your White Plume, Surveil. Could be an opportunity here for Matthew to take the initiative.
Okay.
Dragon's Rage Channeler gets dumped into the graveyard. White Plume dies. Wasteland Ancient Tomb, pretty good. Attack for 1. Matthew takes it. We got a game. Yeah, was the damage from Ancient Tomb missed again?
You have to pay 2, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You can actually... Let's go ahead.
I know things like that are one player's responsibility, but we both, on both sides of the table, should try to keep track of this stuff. Dragon's Rage Channeler and Ponder double Surveil.
So this is going to be 40.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a missed initiative trigger as well.
I'll leave that there. Ponder. Combat. This is 3.
16.
I use 17 going to... I have 18 from the thing, 1 from the hit.
Oh yeah, I'm missing 2, so 14?
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like the Ancient Tomb has been corrected down. Maybe the foam was just not updated on the table. Yeah, the initiative trigger was missed, which is unfortunate.
Palace Jailer.
Trigger.
Palace Jailer getting dazed, double Surveil. Seems like the cards are being left on top.
Go ahead.
Upkeep, I'll remember. Forge.
Yep.
All right. This time, I'll remember, says Matthew. Forge putting 2 counters on a Dragon's Rage Channeler.
8.
Go to...
Attacking for 8. All right, so Michael is down to 6.
Fable.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That'll make a Goblin Shaman, which cannot block the flyers.
Yeah, I mean, both of those were the only cards that saved you.
I'm at 6. I go to 1 if you want to.
All right, Trap, you go to 1.
I think that this deck has
Yeah, you got it.
outmaneuvered that strategy.
I was supposed to exile Palace Jailer there, and then I'm ahead of Days.
All right, good games. Matthew gets it. Well played. Trying to keep things moving. Tony Trevetto, thank you for the resub. 30 months for Tony Trevetto at Tier 1. What a treat. 90s MTG on a Friday. Yes, it was nice seeing Tony once again at SCG New Jersey. I saw Tony for the first time in Seattle when I was there visiting in late 2022. Got to jam some games and grab some food after hanging out at Mox. And Tony has been with us since the beginning, hanging out with us on stream. So shout out to Tony. How many 90s MTG regulars top 16 this event? I think it was 5. Or was it more than that? Wait, it was Dave Kaplan, Michael Levine, Devin Riley, Greg Berlinroot, John Lee. Oh no, am I forgetting people? There may have been others. '90s MTG crew did do well at this event. Oh, Hank was in 9th. Yeah, that's right. Hank was in 9th. That's 6. There was probably another one. I can't remember. Hank was the 5th? Didn't I just name 6 of them? Oh, Roland made 17th. Yeah, Roland made 17th. Did I say John? John Lee, who we're watching right now, was in 16th. I don't know. Close enough, yeah. We showed up and defended our territory, right, everybody? All right, so there's a die indicating 5 on the table right now. Okay, we have random judge questions coming in the chat. All right, looks like Kaplan has kept 7 and John has kept 5. Mishra's Bauble to start looking at their own top card is Dave. Fetchland says, I didn't like that card. Let's shuffle.
And just to pause there. Okay. I know.
Yeah, I saw it.
I appreciate playing the gentleman's game as opposed to the initiative crapshoots. For sure. Yeah. Have you played against the answer to that?
Yeah, I beat it last round. I was on the play, and kept one liners both games. It was great.
One land creature.
Yeah.
It seems like you have to keep a creature. Like if you know you're playing it.
All right. Back to John now. Card has been drawn for Mishra's Bauble. It looks like Chrome Mox comes in for John. Imprinting Solitude. Paying 2 life. Anointed Peacekeeper. The Bear, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Let's take a look at Kaplan's hand. Daze, Force of Will, Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Expressive Iteration, and Wasteland. If you're a regular follower of this channel, you're familiar with Dave Kaplan and John Lee. They play regularly on 90s MTG. And to see them, I mean, I was there doing the recording. To see them sitting at table 1 halfway through the day was a treat for me. I like seeing our crew doing well. Okay, so Bolt was the card chosen by Anointed Peacekeeper.
Is this exile? No, it's just back land. It was never exile. It's not spellbinding.
Yeah, the Lightning Bolt is not in exile. It's back in hand. And no longer has attacks. The Peacekeeper has been removed. Also removed Ancient Tomb by a Wasteland. Here's Archon of Emeria hitting the stack. Run the Trap. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. Yeah, Dom V is right. John Lee has gone to the dark side, has abandoned the Jeskai. Okay, replacing City of Traders with an Ancient Tomb. Delver of Secrets comes in for Kaplan. Chalice X is 1. 1 card in hand for John. Forced pitching expressive on this Chalice. Countered successfully. Delver trigger reveals a Ponder, and it is now a 3-power flyer. Hits John for 3. All right, and the Ponder gets cast immediately.
It's all good. You are 18.
Ameria entering tapped for John. Here's a brainstorm. Yeah, the replacing City of Traders with Ancient Tomb didn't do a whole lot. Attacking for 3, at least not so far. All right, more cantripping on Dave's side. Murktide hitting the stack. Murktide Regent. All right, looks like it's an 8/8 Murktide, and it is sitting right in the glare. Looks like the only spot on this table with any glare is where Murktide is resting right now. Looks like John has 2 cards in hand. Facing down enough power to end the game on an attack next turn. Solitude pitching White Plume. That'll resolve. Hitting Murktide. That'll extend the clock a bit. Hellbent now is John. Nobody has taken the initiative yet in this game. Arak, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Attacking with the Delver. John down to 7. Looks like Kaplan has 4 cards in hand or 3 cards in hand. All right, White Plume Adventurer. Revealing double bolt is Kaplan. That's game. Going to sideboarding, shuffling up for game 2. Looks like John has kept 7 and Kaplan is mulliganing to 6. Yep, a mull to 6 for Kaplan and John on the play keeping 7. Let's see how explosive of a start John has.
I have 17, 18, 18 cards. I think it's 4, and you have 4 as well.
12 post ramp, thanks for the sub with Prime. Remember everybody, you can sub for free with Amazon Prime. Jeff Bezos will pay for your Twitch sub. Chalice on 1, sacking a Lotus Petal. Resolves. We'll see if John has a good follow-up here. And if Kaplan saved counter magic for the initiative. City of Traders. Thalia with a mana floating. Fetching on end step. Steam vents tapped. Unchained Berserker. We were talking about this card earlier on today's stream. Some people are skeptical. I remain skeptical that this card is good enough. But we'll see how it plays in this game. City of Traders gets replaced by another city, and here's Walking Ballista X's 2. Takes out the Unchained Berserker immediately, attacking with Thalia. Pretty good. So Chalice plus Thalia is pretty good. Kaplan has a Wasteland, but might need it for now. Okay. Doesn't need it anymore. Wasteland on the Emeria. Cutting John off of white for the moment.
You're good.
Full 2. Kaplan clear.
I think I called it as soon as I did it.
White Plume Adventurer cannot be countered because it's a cleric. Cavern chose cleric. Here's basic planes found in the first room of the Undercity. The use of Walking Ballista is why I think True Name Nemesis might be better sideboard tech despite costing 1 more. Yeah, I think True Name might be a bit better. All right, attacking for 3 here is John. And John setting up the tokens for the initiative. Kaplan fetches. Wow, did that I thought I missed an important message on my phone. Did I miss did I miss a bolt missing the Chalice trigger? Wow. All right, attacking for looks like 5 there.
Yours. I wouldn't get rid of the layer ever.
Was the Thalia tax missed as well? Here's a volcanic island. The YouTube commenters are going to rewind this and analyze all of it. They're going to notice and point out all of the errors, which I like, by the way. I like that.
Yeah, I have E.
All right, expressive iteration. It shows that the YouTube viewers, I have their undivided attention.
All the wastelands, it's like kind of hard to argue.
All right, John pointing out, yeah, I missed a Chalice trigger. Shame on you, John. All right, moving on to game 3. I am the worst. I like playing Chalice, and I miss my triggers way too frequently for my liking. I am the worst. So I've been there. I've played so many Chalice decks over the years, and I still frequently miss my Chalice triggers. Such a bad habit. And it can be really frustrating. Looks like John is deciding on a 6-card hand, and Kaplan has kept 7. All right, 1 card going on the bottom for John. A mulligan to 6. Kaplan has kept 7 and is starting the game with a fetch with Polluted Delta. Right, Volcanic Island it is. Delver of Secrets. It'll resolve. Plains, Lotus Petal, and I think a Gesture to pass. Force of Will revealed on top. Insectile Aberration. Getting swords. Before draw start.
I rolled 2. So I rolled to 6. See a 1-lander. 1, 2, 3, 4. I boarded out 3 colonies. First author. And I want to take a look at another part. I will pass it on. Draw that side.
All right, Wasteland comes in. Four cards in hand for John. A braid on the Lotus Petal. All right. Let's do that. Elite Spellbinder hitting the stack. Let's see if Kaplan has a daze. Yeah, Twitch chat in shock at the Abrade on Petal. Could be a good play though if could have been a good play though if John did not have mana. Dave Kaplan likes playing aggressive. Take a little bit of risk with high upside. Kaplan's down with that. Elite Spellbinder will resolve. Hand revealed. Murktide, Force of Will we knew about. Brazen Borrower, and Lightning Bolt. We'll see what John chooses to exile. Bolt is chosen. Bolt will be in exile with a 2-mana tax. Delver and Wasting the City of Traders. Pretty good. 3 cards in the graveyard currently for Kaplan. Attacking with Spellbinder. We got a little bit of a race between the Delver and Spellbinder maybe. City of Traders replaced. Daze revealed. Flips. Iganjo getting channeled. Insectile Aberration eliminated. CR4, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Spellbinder gets in for 3. White Plume hitting the stack. Can't daze it, but Kaplan does have a Force of Will. I mean, Kaplan could daze it, but the Lotus Petal will be able to pay for it. There's a Lightning Bolt in the glare, trapped under the Spellbinder right now. Force of Will. Pitching Daze. I think we all agree with that. Getting pitched here. And White Plume is countered. Looks like 1 card left in hand for John. Brazen Bower, Murktide, and Lightning Bolt in Exile for Kaplan. Waste on City of Traders. Pass. Kaplan's life total under threat from the Spellbinder. Do you like Wastelanding there, chat, or is it too risky trying to build up for mana to cast this Lightning Bolt? Let us know what you think in the comments. Oh, all right, Petty Theft. Oh, yeah, well, we do have the Petty Theft. That's true. We do have the Petty Theft, which can bounce the Spellbinder. Forgot Kaplan could delay the attacks a little bit. All right, here's Polluted Delta getting cracked. I think we're going to see a Murktide enter this turn. Again, Kaplan showing that taking a little bit of risk with a high upside, working out so far. The Wastelands, the Abrades, you know, people were skeptical of those plays, but they look okay so far. I look forward to the breakdowns and analysis in the YouTube comment section for sure on this match. Yeah, Mana Denial Plan works a lot worse when opponent is attacking with a 3/1 flyer. I agree. I agree. Kaplan trying to figure out how big this Murktide will be. It will be a 5/5. John does not currently have the mana on the table for the Spellbinder to be recast.
And pitched a force. Almost 4.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, John double checking the count, which is all good. Swords on end step on Murktide. Kaplan will be glad to gain a few life points there and buy some time. Does John have another land? Is what we're all wondering. Looks like Kaplan has 1 card left in hand. I don't know if we know what it is. There's a Lightning Bolt trapped in exile with a 2-mana tax on it, thanks to the Spellbinder that was cast earlier in the game. That's what's in glare right next to the phone. Cavern on Cleric. Cavern on Human. Cavern on Human. Thalia comes in. Maybe this is a hint that a seasoned Dungeoneer is following up here by prioritizing Thalia over Elite Spellbinder, or just trying to tax the Lightning Bolt a bit further and keep Kaplan from cantripping too frequently or expressive iteration. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just thinking about this Thalia over Spellbinder. Volcanic Island comes in, waste on the Cavern. Delver, pretty good. Alright, 2 first strike damage to Kaplan. Delver does not flip this turn. Attacking for 4. Solitude pitching Spellbinder. Targeting the Brazen Borrower. Another Murktide hitting the stack. It's just a 3-3. Maria entering untap, paying 3 life. Here's the Spellbinder. Dragon's Rage Channeler revealed. It'll get exiled. Alright, so Lightning Bolt and Dragon's Rage Channeler are the cards stuck in Glare, both exiled by Spellbinders with 2-mana attacks. Daze revealed on top, that'll flip Delver. This Daze is actually pretty good at the moment. Attacking for 6. No, holding back. Spellbinder can trade with either Murktide or Delver. Kaplan doesn't seem to care. Trading with Murktide seems pretty good here. John takes 3. And casting the Dragon's Rage Channeler from exile. No Delirium for Kaplan. Kurd, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Looks like an attack for 4 happening here. Nobody has taken the initiative in this game 3. Rob, thanks for the follow. Shin, thanks for the follow. Looks like John think about a land drop. There is a Seasoned Engineer in hand. I finally got a glimpse of it. We know Kaplan has a Daze. Narfidi, thanks for the follow. Yeah, this is a great game. And the initiative itself has not been a factor in this game. Probably to Kaplan's benefit, is my guess. Yeah, the Bolt right next to the phone is in exile with a 2-mana tax from Elite Spellbinder. Bolt you, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Surveil trigger. Daze dumped into the graveyard. That gets a handshake from John.
I should have played out the initiative guys a little bit sooner, I think.
Good games. Great match. Great match. Force of Phil is here.
No. So I'm actually like.
All right. So, as I said a moment ago, Kaplan and Lugo both 5-0. Seated at table 1, this is SCG CON New Jersey, Legacy 10K. Took place over the weekend. On Saturday, we streamed 8 rounds plus first round of top 8 on Wednesday. If you missed that and you'd be interested, you can go back and watch that. It's up on our Twitch channel. The matches are posted on our YouTube channel as well. Just quickly plug our merch, our coffee page, as we get started. If you're enjoying the stream, please go check out our coffee page. Appreciate that. Okay. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Looks like player's almost ready to go. Thank you, Dave, for putting the phone out there. That's for us, the viewers. Appreciate that. The live chat, I'm sure appreciates it as well. Not sure where we are on mulligans. I guess we're going to find out. All right, both players kept 7, it looks like. Scalding Tarn into Volcanic Island to start the game for Dave Kaplan.
Trigger. Drop. Sure. Yep.
Dragon's Rage Channeler, Mishra's Bauble triggers a Surveil. Looks like the card is getting left there, and Kaplan will draw it.
Sure.
I think that was a Mishra's Bauble on top of Colin's deck. I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe it was that Ancient Tomb. Chalice on 1.
Sure. I'll pass turn.
Daze triggered a Surveil. Looks like Kaplan left it on top. Wasteland on the Ancient Tomb. Attacking with Dragon's Rage Channeler. No Delirium yet. Land instant artifact. In the grave.
Go ahead.
Ancient Tomb pass. Trying to get a peek at Colin's hand. Can't quite see what's in there. Dragon's Rage Channeler number 2. Attacking for 1.
18, 19 are my favorite. And fetch is fun. That's why I always confirm. There's lots I'll go to 16. Force a little bit. Cast aside.
Sigh. Pretty good. Force pitching Murktide. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Leave it on top.
So you still don't have Delirium, correct? Okay, perfect. I will.
Okay, Kaplan does now have Delirium. Yeah, I'm not sure. So there was 2 taps of Ancient Tomb and 2 attacks of Dragon's Rage Channeler.
No, you're right. 14.
Okay, so it's been corrected now.
So 18 all now. Down 8.
Land, artifact, brainstorm creature.
Yep, down 8, Bill.
All right, attacking for 6. Colin down to 8. Playing a Misty Rainforest. And a 3rd Dragon's Rage Channeler. Fetching with Misty.
I'm gonna get rid of dog.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on 17.
Pretty good.
Ponder, triple Surveil. Pretty good, says Colin. I agree.
Instant creature.
Yep.
Control.
Yep.
And phase 2.
Yep.
16? I'll leave it. Yep, sure. Cast Garrison.
Oh. How many cards?
You want to call a judge? I don't know how to handle that one. Yeah. Judge! Perfect. So he cast a Ponder.
Yeah.
He had 3 triggers.
Yeah.
He surveilled the first time. The second one he decided to keep on top. And then he just drew the card and didn't fully resolve Ponder. He didn't look at the top 3. He just drew a card. I'm assuming he can't partially resolve the spell, so you would rewind and do all of the things. So
Is it? Did you draw this card?
yes, that's the card he drew. He didn't have any cards in his hand. That's the only card that's on.
Yeah.
Appreciate you not playing initiative. Gentleman's Magic.
Yeah. Gonna be warning for game rule violation because this is an
I'm
easy
told all my
fix. We're just put that back on top and have you resolve Ponder correctly.
My plan was
Okay,
show up.
You're good, man.
Play magic. And
Yeah, you're totally good. So
And you got lucky.
Okay, so Ponder now getting resolved correctly. The Ponder was not resolved correctly. Triple Surveil happened, and then Dave just drew a card, which is not the correct way to resolve a Ponder. All right. Sai hitting the stack.
Coming out, and I want to play those, but
It looks like a bunch of zeros are in Colin's hand, which could make a bunch of Thopters here. Here's Mox Opal to start it off after Sai resolves.
that makes complete sense. This is good. Yeah.
We could see a whole fleet of defenders entering this turn. Urza's Bobble, trigger, make another Thopter. Urza's Bobble, trigger, make another Thopter. Thought Monitor, trigger, make another Thopter. That one's actually not the correct Thopter. That's a blue Thopter. But that's okay. That's okay, everybody. We're going to let that slide.
I lost it a couple times, and I put Torpor Orb in my deck for the next week. I'm like, I broke it. Torpor Orb fixes the matchup. I want to take a look at Touch the Spirit.
Actually, we're not letting that slide. We're reporting it.
I thought so.
Yeah, like I bought 4 Japanese Torpor Orbs.
And I thought that was the card that fixed the matchup. And I'm like, you're good. And I will.
Okay, there's a Daze in Kaplan's hand. We now know that twice. Drawing 2 cards is Colin. 1, 2, 3, 4 Thopters, a Thought Monitor, and a Sai on the battlefield. Pretty good.
Even if it's not too good.
Can Kaplan break through for 8 more damage in this game? It seems iffy at this point.
Yeah, like there's so little. You're talking about maneuverability. It's just like there's so little of it.
Looks like Colin has a Force in hand.
I'm at 6. You have, and they just hope that one thing gets X in hands.
Oh, I see. So Colin is at 6. The phone on the table has not been updated. But Colin is at 6.
If it wasn't the habit, I would have an issue at all with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they'll just be like, stop me now.
I started using a hand sanitizer out there, and now my sleeves are starting to get that light.
Is that an engineered explosives in Colin's hand? If so, that's just mean. Not 100% sure that's what that was. All right, attempting to triple block and double block to eliminate 2 Dragon's Rage Channelers.
The Skeleton is like the best deck, and like it's a Battlefield system that's in the best deck. But it's easier to build decks than to beat Delta.
Petty Theft on a Thopter, 3 Surveil triggers. Force into the yard. Daze into the yard. Delver into the yard.
Like, it has the
Force pitching Emery on the Petty Theft. All right, life totals on the phone are now correct. Colin down to 5. Seat of the Synod is open, so the Daze in Kaplan's hand that we know about is not that useful as far as countering the Force of Will, but could be a few extra Surveil triggers.
Once you start getting the sequencing and stuff down, it just becomes really good. Yeah. Like you feel like every game, if you make a mistake, or if you damage, like you could have done something different.
I mean, it's pretty lovely.
All right, going down to 2 here is Colin, so Ancient Tomb is shut off at the moment. All the Thopters and the Thought Monitor are wiped away. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a 3 power. Lotus Petal, make a Thopter. Okay, so that's pretty good. Another Thought Monitor, pretty good. All right, checking the affinity count here.
Trigger 10 cards.
Yeah.
Draw 2.
It doesn't feel like the matchup, like, these are matchup edges anymore. It's like topic edges.
Trigger, especially with like Breach. Like Breach is just one card win, and then Scam just simplifies the game to parity, and you see who draws better. Right?
Kaplan sees an opportunity to potentially Daze here and going to take it. Surveil. Lotus Petal will pay for it. Draw 2. I like dazing there.
All my friends that
It's
play
okay if I
modern
fast forward a little bit here. I just want to like.
If
I go
Trigger.
3-3 with blue light control, I'm gonna
Trigger,
have more fun
and then I'll
playing
trigger
lazy
again.
than I go like 5.
All right, triple bobble, triple thopter. Look at the top card. It looks like it was a brainstorm. Look at the card in hand. It is the volcanic we knew about.
To pass and then draw 3 on your upkeep.
Draw 3 on your upkeep. Looks like another force was drawn and a thought cast. Brainstorm Cervelle. Plenty of blockers on the board for Colin. 6 Thopter tokens, 2 Thought Monitors. And there's a Psy sitting there who's doing all the work.
It's the secret layer one.
It looks like Psy Master Thopterus has won Colin this game.
There's no Japanese full art ponder, so I'm just gonna settle for these. They kind of match the preordained. Obviously not take. I'll block the 3 tokens.
All right, Kaplan does have an opportunity here to shuffle away cards put on top by playing a blue to Delta. Basic Island.
Chalice on 1. Trigger.
Chalice on 1. That could be slamming the door on this game. Thoughtcast. Drew another Chalice, another Force. Attacking for a lot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, these just one of these came in. First damage. 3, 5, 7, 8. I have you at 9. And I'll pass.
All right, Kaplan trying to shuffle here. All right, that's a good to scoop. We're going to game 2. Eight cast players watching in the initiative Delver time we're living in. How do you feel like your deck is right now? Do you feel like 8 cast is well positioned? Is it poorly positioned? How is its matchups against initiative? How is its matchups against Delver at the moment? Let's get an update from the 8 cast crowd, if we can. All right, looks like Kaplan is on the play. Flooded Strand pass.
I thought you were thinking if you wanted to. No. Instead,
Ancient Tomb for Colin. Mox Opal. Lotus Petal. Tormod's Crypt. Chalice on 1. Quite a first turn for Colin. Nerf says 8 cast versus Delver is close to 50-50. Initiative is rough. 40-60 or worse depending on build. Okay. There's one 8 cast player weighing in. This is a brainstorm in response to the Chalice. Looks like a Kappa Cannoneer is in Colin's hand. All right, Chalice resolves, passing the turn. Does Kaplan have a meltdown? Let's see. Yeah. Urz's Saga gets played.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kappa Cannoneer?
Here's Kappa Cannoneer. That is going to be tough to beat. Especially with Tormod's Crypt available. And Chalice on 1. Kappa Cannoneer gives itself a counter, one of the strangest abilities on Reason cards. Scalding Tarn getting correct. Wasteland on Urza's Saga.
I'll deal in a second.
How you doing? Oh shit, dude. Nice. I'm 3-1.
How was 8-cast versus Mono Red Painter? Does anybody have a take on that?
I lost to a mono red spike trash for treasure piracy no, I think he told me it was jank too, and I'm like, oh, perfect. Cool.
Expressive iteration. Very rough, says Nerf. Alright, a Daze put into exile. I don't think that's going to get used this turn, but it's available. Pass the turn.
I got you. I appreciate it. I think it's 3, 4.
I'll add blue. Podcast.
Alright, Thoughtcast resolves. Looks like a Force of Will was drawn there by Colin.
I'll lose 4. And attempt to Chalice on 2.
Chalice on 2. Can't even daze after that resolves. Dagas, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Vasilak, thanks for the follow.
I will pass turn.
Yeah, still. But here, only people who know you, you don't actually he was the guy's playing. But then he's a red painter.
Still doing it.
Mr.
Still delirious. Yeah.
So apparently he thought it was going to be Legacy, fucking Legacy represented, and missed it. Thought his F&N brewery was the change. Trash for treasure. Right? I know.
Two cards? Cards.
2 cards in hand. Kappa Cannoneer with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Tormod's Crypt. Chalice on 1, Chalice on 2. It's not looking good for Kaplan.
Shuffle.
You're holding priority.
Yeah, dead 4.
Alright, well, trigger here, and I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna exile here.
Alright, so Kaplan holding priority, casting Dragon's Rage Channeler, casting Daze, targeting Dragon's Rage Channeler. Tried to fill up the graveyard there for a Murktide, but Tormod's Crypt activated. And that ends the game.
But I figured it was just better for me just to try and get rid of your graveyard when you get to that play. A 5/5 versus a 6/6, I'm still ahead on the clock. So it's going to force you to block unless I have an artifact, which you can block it. So I figured...
All right. That's match well played. Good games. This was a not a win and in for top 8, but it was believed at this point in the tournament that X1 would be good enough to get there by most people participating. Yeah, Hammer at 5-1, exactly. Mark Hughes is here. Players shuffling up, getting ready to go.
Do you want to get an equal amount of data?
Yeah.
I'll keep as well.
Like a fun pack for 60 for that?
I'm down for anything. But I got more.
You trust me?
Yeah.
It sounded like both players kept 7. Urza's Saga to start. Both players kept 7. Jordan plays a Mox Opal. Grindstone. Pass the turn. Sigarda's Aid hitting the stack. It'll resolve. Joms, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Shout out to at the end of your turn, as you see in the top left of your screen, has the latest cheer and is our monthly gift sub leader. Thank you at the end of your turn. Appreciate all the love. Ancient Tomb getting tapped for some mana here. Saga is at 2 and making a construct. This would be to turn on Metalcraft from Mox Opal. Here's Emery. Cheddar says, I messed up today. I woke up at 12 p.m. for my 9 a.m. shift. Oh, my goodness. Force pitching Emery on Stoneforge. Force of Phil pointing out 8-cast Painter, Hammer, all at the top tables. Really strong showing for Urza's Saga. That's true. Was Saga also in the Black Helm deck? I can't remember the build. BNR, thanks for the follow. Welcome. And Saga was also in Breakfast, right?
I've been doing this for a while now, and I'm just waiting for you to present. So please make sure that you are shuffling and presenting in a reasonable amount of time. It's going to be just a warning. The remedy to this ability is that if you do go to time, there will be...
Haywire Might. One of the things I love about Urza's Saga in the modern and legacy world is that every set that comes out, I find my eyes drawn to any 0 or 1 mana artifact and thinking, would this be fun to fetch off Urza's Saga? Haywire Might is the latest addition to that list. Or one of the latest additions to that list. All right, here's the other Spell Bomb hitting the stack. Those are 2 construct tokens on Jordan's side. Attacking with one of them. Oh, I just realized we don't have life totals up. My bad.
Where am I here? Charlene. 17. What's up?
I live in Pennsylvania.
Trigger here.
I believe Chris is at 15. Not 100% on that. We'll wait.
Nah, yeah, it was like a 2-hour drive.
Cast Mox Opal? Yeah, that's your Cast Mox Opal?
Yeah.
Cast Sigarda's Aid? Stoneforge Mystic?
Yeah.
Stoneforge Mystic, trigger resolving. Scarta's Aid is back on the table. There's an Ornithopter. Here's the hammer, Colossus Hammer.
Pass turn.
Passing the turn.
Yeah. Or it's rounded down, so I have to do this. Load up.
Join cut.
All right, let's see what Jordan has for us.
9. Gotcha, 15.
Yeah, either spell bomb's pretty good on the table at the moment. Here's Emery casting Haywire Might from the graveyard.
Nothing else you can control can attack.
Still floating a mana.
Yes.
6, 5 mana for 1.
Thought Monitor hits the stack for Jordan. It will resolve.
Three in hand? 3 in hand.
Go. Attack.
Yes, it kills me flash.
Can cast them with Flash.
Yeah, you got a hand.
You pass it, you said? End of your turn, I'm going to flash in a Colossus Hammer. Trigger this, I'm going to target Ornithopter.
Colossus Hammer getting equipped to Ornithopter on end step.
Finding your bag. I don't open it.
Make a construct token.
Making a construct token here.
Search.
If there's a Saga before it pops.
Search for a Shadow Spear, trigger my Scar's Aid. Yep. I'm going to target my Ornithopter.
I think I
Shadow Spear getting found by Urza's Saga. Triggering Sigarda's Aid and equipping it to the already equipped with Colossus Hammer Ornithopter.
Attacking for 11.
I'm just going to buy listed for a few dollars.
Attacking with the Ornithopter.
Can you toss these in a trash on your finger travels?
Haywire Might can respond. An anonymous gifter just gifted 5 subs. Thank you to whoever that was. Appreciate that.
Sure, they're both 6 6s, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they're 7 7s. Okay, that's fine. I'll apply the damage.
Wait, isn't this Ornithopter flying? Wait, what?
Gain 11 life. Yes. I'll go to 25. After that, I'm going to tap my Mox Opal. Yes. I'm going to play an Ancient.
Oh, Hammer removes flying. I was so confused for a second there. My bad.
Your turn.
Not being a frequent Modern player is showing a bit here. All right, so the Ornithopter has been removed. The Construct token is equipped with Shadow Spear.
I'll concede in response, I guess.
All right, so we're moving on to game 2. Jordan took game 1, it looks like. I will remember that hammer causes the equipped creature to lose flying. Cosmic Coil says, isn't it against the law to be broadcasting last Saturday's MTG on a Friday? It is. It is. Thank you to whoever gifted some subs a moment ago. Appreciate that. All right, players are drawing up hands here.
Plains, Aid, yes. Go, Thopter, yes.
Plains, Aid, Thopter, go. Spire of Industry getting tapped here, casting Haywire Might. Haywire Might. Grindstone. All right, so both players with a nice start to the game. Haywire Might looks pretty good in this matchup.
It just becomes it for you. But I don't have an island. I do have an island.
March for one?
Yeah, first one.
Yeah.
All right, March of Otherworldly Light. And Sigarda's Aid. And Haywire Might. And Lotus Petal have all been removed from the table.
Yeah, they're slightly different. It's not that, not that big of a
Yeah, I'll take it.
Am I good this time?
Yeah,
Grindstone comes in for Jordan.
Planes. Paladin?
Yep.
Pure Steel Paladin comes in. Looks like 2 more cards are in Chris's hands. Colossus Hammer. Trigger draw. Pass. I'm not sure if they marked the 2 life gain. I did not hear a life update from the players. I'll put it on the overlay for now.
How many in hand? 4?
Trying my best to hear the players' life total updates.
Yes, yes, give me a read. Enemy? Yes. Too quick. First one. Yep.
Equipping Colossus Hammer to Inkmoth Nexus, or at least trying to. Let's see what the response is.
and what makes day 2?
Sorry. You play 2 life? Okay. May I tie that?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Mana tie that. That's the first mana tie that I think we've ever seen on 90s MTG, and that was a beauty. Attack you with a Colossus Hammer, equipped Inkmoth Nexus, and end the game. Yeah, Force of Fill with some great advice for everybody. Always play around Mana Tithe. Seed of the Synod, Lotus Petal, Emery to start game 3. Looks like no artifacts were dumped into the graveyard on that one. Just a Thoughtcast, Emery, Spire of Industry, and Ancient Tomb. Coca Jambone, thanks for the resub. 8 months for Coca. Appreciate that.
I was also prepared to lend you or give you cards to trade.
Sigarda's Aid on turn 1, I think 3 games in a row here for Chris. Another Seed of the Synod.
I will take 1. What's that?
Emery attacking. That's what you want if you're Chris, I think.
Wasteland, Seed of the Synod.
Wasteland on Seed of the Synod. Swords to Plowshares on Emery. This is a good start to game 3 for Chris. Jordan thinking about responding to the swords. I don't know if Jordan has a response. Yep, Force, pitching Force.
Pass Montel. Yes, pass. This is is your graveyard, is that correct?
That is my graveyard.
Okay, and this says cast, not play, right?
It's cast.
It's cast, so you can't play the land on your graveyard?
You cannot play Seed of the Synod with Emery out of the graveyard.
18. Go ahead. Ornithopter?
Ornithopter.
Esper Sentinel?
Esper Sentinel will make the Mox Opal live. Also potentially draw Chris some cards. Passing the turn.
Yeah, it's fine.
Ooh, missing the Esper Sentinel trigger. Grindstone snuck in there.
Swords?
Swords on Emery.
Actually 20. And then 19? Yep. Faster.
Mox Opal. Thoughtcast. That also gets a that's fine. Ah!
Yep. Yeah, it's fine.
Or was the Mox Opal played before that?
It's fine.
They just do day 2.
Playing Cold Nexus.
Oh no, this was the one.
That's
Yeah, Esper Sentinel triggers only once per turn, everybody. Haywire Might targeting Sigarda's aid happening here. I'm trying not to drag Chris here. It's just painful to watch. Ouch. Sorry, Chris.
Saga trigger. One use? Sorry. One.
I will not spend any time making fun of anybody or mocking anybody's plays, but another Esper Sentinel trigger just now missed. It's hard to watch. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can because I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. These are high stakes games. People forget stuff. It's all normal. It's all fine. Want to be clear on that.
One. So we're both at 18, is that correct? Yes. Last turn.
Nothing but appreciation for the players that play on this channel, and I just want everybody to learn from these mistakes.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, here's Painter's Servant.
That's fine.
It's one half of the combo with Grindstone.
End of turn, I'll make a construct token.
All right, making a construct token on end step.
Trigger here. Full load of colorless. Search. I'm actually going to think on that for one more.
And I know playing on camera makes some people nervous as well. All right, floating a colorless mana and searching the library here. Let's see what Chris finds.
Name Grindstone? That is how that. Like, if I name Grindstone, that will stop your combo. Is that correct? Okay, I'm just gonna double check. Never hurts to double check. Okay. That's.
All right, Pithing Needle on Grindstone, so the combo is shut off for the moment. Haywire Might could change that.
Animate?
Yes. It's like 35 seconds.
Oh, animate's good. Yes. Land for turn. Combat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 6, and a 1, 1 infect.
That would be really I thought it would be right. My
No blocks, okay. I've got a poison. And you take 6 or 12?
12 life now for Jordan, 1 poison. I believe I have life totals correct on the overlay.
I'll pass, actually.
So on instep, I'm going to haywire.
End step, Highwire Might getting sacked, targeting Painter. In response, Otherworldly Light on Painter. I mean, targeting the Needle with Haywire Might. Otherworldly Light is targeting Painter Servant. Force Pitching Metallic Rebuke.
Raise counter. Oops, sorry. That was. This is destroy. Or this is exile, rather. You gain 2 life. Yep, 13. Pass turn. I also missed my Chalice Trigger again, or whatever the fuck that's called. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, good game. Yeah, that was tight.
All right. Good games. Yeah, I think the Esper Sentinel trigger was missed like so many times there. That was tough. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry if you watch this back later. That was that's tough. That's tough. Chris, how am I feeling emotionally? I just feel bad. Like I just feel like I'm sorry. Like I don't really have anything else to say. I just feel bad. I don't like to see that. Neither does anybody watching. And I'm sure the YouTube commenters will be pointing it out. Yeah, these things happen, and I guess my hope is that we all learn from watching someone else make these mistakes and get a bit better. And that's kind of the point of this channel. We can all watch, learn something, and move on.